Welcome back to the Tide Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news in review for March 16th, 2025, and it's been kind of a long week. Not a whole lot going on, but yet then there's still a whole lot to yet again talk about. There's a Masters of the Universe, whatever, mashup kind of stuff going on right here, and in all reality, I don't know. We got Walmart Collecticon stuff. I've got a little more information on this guy and a few other things, but not a lot. And then I will admit I was wrong on the price of this guy because I guess I was thinking it was the new arena, not the collectibles. So stiff price on that guy. Then we got some McFarlane stuff, going out with a bang. Is he going out with a bang? He's steady rolling. More Walmart Collecticon stuff. Turtles are in that, in case I don't point it out later. And then some interesting stuff, my thoughts on Star Wars, if you care. Coming up. All right, like usual, let's start out talking about what's new at Show Z Store. We have this MB10 fans hobby figure here, and it's the G2 version of Megatron. Obviously, it's gonna be green. This is the prototype stuff. And we've seen this picture before, so we've got a new picture. But you can pre-order this at Show Z Store right now. $1 down, price unknown. This thing is gigantic, as you can see it next to an Optimus Prime. All right, also up for pre-order is the Touch Toys Zio Series Fanfinchi J17N Kienkun. And it's $1 down, price unknown. Everything is unknown except for the name, and I probably said it wrong, but it is pretty cool, and it is Show Z's one of the few places to get it. They do now have the pre-orders up for the Magic Square second version of Ultra Magnus. This one will probably be all in one. Mine, I still have the bot in armor, and very pleased with that. And with that, I don't need to upgrade, but other people might not. In the Legends scale, might want to get that. But down the road, they might be upscaling these to Masterpiece. It's a possibility if people support them and everything's good and all that kind of stuff. Also, they have what they call Ninja Advisor 6-shot. I need some advice on how to be a ninja. All right, so last week I really didn't spend any time on MMC Ocular Max PS30 Obsizor Scavenger. And so they're steadily trucking along with constructing their Devastator. Okay, that's enough of that. But it does look pretty good overall. It looks like they're doing an all right job with it. Let's see all the other modes. I guess we can see from the back. What I'm starting to notice more and more about MMC is they might be really good options for kind of G1-esque bot modes. If that's something that you're into, you might want to do that. And you're going to see it even more when we get into talking about Defensor blades. But here's their Devastator, which aside from the waist area, I think the rest looks good. I'm not a fan of that. I bet you somebody will come up with some sort of add-on and just kind of click on there and make the waist look a little bit more correct. But all in one until all are in one. I don't even know what to say when I talk about combiners next week. I keep putting that video off because there's so much to talk about. This one here, TFC Toys Satan Combiner, showing, for whatever reason, they have their prototype in black. It's not going to be that color when it's done, but it's still what they kind of produced it in. And that's what it looks like. Still looks pretty much as expected. I'm not 100% sure if this is 7 years or 9 years in the works. It's been a while. So this one here, I'm going to classify it as Masterpiece because they're actually too big to be Masterpiece, but Warriors Workshop or Samurai Workshop. This is the WWS C01 Spike and Carly. And I have to say this, that they look good. Yes, it'd be nice if they had their pupils, some eyes painted on, whatever. But I've been looking forward to this. And I've got mine on pre-order through Show Z. Nothing's been canceled or anything. But I do think they look pretty good overall. And that small, when you zoom in this hard on something that small, you're going to go, oh, wow, that doesn't look that great. Zooming out and having it on your shelf, they'll look fantastic. There's a size scale comparison from Artemis Prime. So great job. Not sure how you got your hands on these so early, but we're focusing on the ones in the middle with no hands. Those are the ones that are the new ones coming, and that's how they scale. And yeah, scale. We got 01 Studio with their Devastator figure Catastrophe. Always like to throw a joke about a cat in there with a catastrophe. Anyway, it looks pretty decent for a very stylized version, and I think that you could get away with it if you're actually trying to make one that looks sort of G1 in a way. And here goes the alt mode for this, and somehow I've just kind of feel like Zeta's involved with it with 01 Studio. Don't really know the relationship, but I know they took over what was going on with Unicron. Or maybe just split off and using a sub name there. Here's the leg, and look at that leg. And so I'm going to say, it's not super G1. I still like the way the Fans Toys leg looks better, but this still is not too far of a departure. And a little bit stylized, but not too far off. I think it's good. The direction they're going is pretty solid, and it does look solid too. Oh, and the reason I even mentioned a connection to Zeta is because it's the only thing Zeta hasn't remade that's a significant release from Toy World. And Toy World was, of course, the main Devastator with their Constructor, and Zeta didn't go up against that yet. So, anyway. Next up, we've got the MMC, and this is their blades. And they call this one the Ocular Max PS24 Ventus. And I guess the pictures are by hard return. And so this is actually a good-looking figure overall. And I even think that the alt mode is even better. So let's kind of jump into that. Here's the alt mode. And fantastic alt mode. And when it comes to combiners, generally you got to nail the alt mode in order to nail the combined mode, because the alt mode is sort of what turns into the combined mode for the most part, and those features are what are exposed. So with all of that, this looking good, pretty good. All right, now for whatever reason, there are pictures floating around of the first version of the Fans Toys Blitzwing Berserk. They had another Blitzkrieg or something. Anyhow, showing this picture here side by side. So on the left should be the 2.0 upgraded model, which does to me look just, it appears more stable. It's just from the appearance, the one on the left, the upgrades, more stable. The one on the right it actually looks quite old. Like, it's a very old design, and it feels completely redone. It doesn't look like they just modified it at all. It looks like they redid it completely. Again, the reason it's 7-8 years old and taking so long, and it's going to steal the acoustic wave throne of the longest Fans Toys release. I don't know, here's like an alt mode of what the first one looked like, which, yeah, old news is still fun, but I don't ever remember seeing these pictures. Like, this is something that slipped past the goalie for me, and I start to wonder, why do these surface now? Why not surfaced 8 years ago, 5 years ago? Because I've been looking at this stuff for that entire time, and I've never seen these pictures, so it's pretty interesting, and just curious. More curiouser and curiouser. So I do want to point out, this is the MDLX 30, $120, expected to ship Q3, which I think MDLX means like the smaller one. We're talking around Yellow Park size, a little bit smaller than Yellow Park size, 120. Anyway, it does look pretty good. I think they've done a decent job with it, but remember, it's stylized. I mean, this is not going to be for the Ultra G1ers. Are going to be a little turned off by the stylization of it. But then for me, I've always thought the Coneheads just had their own kind of non-seeker vibe to them, so it's kind of okay for them to look a little different. Here's the whole team shading out the other ones. That's kind of shady of them, isn't it? Ha, 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 ha. Anyway, there it is. Prime 1 Studios and Josh Neezy, Overlord Megatron color sample. If you're into these, they're very expensive statues out there if you're interested in this stuff. This is the first look, kind of getting a look at the color sample of this Megatron. Alright, so DK65 upgrade kit for MPG09, which I can see why it needs these upgrades. You get more with the hands, the splaying of the fingers, and all of that. Plus, they hold the weapons better. Theoretically, the weapons are going to be held better, and then you get some upgrade forearms so that the forearms can collapse. But why would you need forearms to collapse? Because then you can get a tighter range when it's in alt mode. Because those things protrude way too high up there, and so this is going to fix that, or whatever. Anyhow, there it is. I think it does look a little bit better the way they did it with the upgrade kit, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to get it. Alright, so we've got Main Motion with the Lego Brickheads Transformers Optimus Prime Bumblebee, and this... It reminds me why Lego's not for me. And it is for a lot of people. They love it. I'm just not into Lego. I did a Voltron, and I never want to do that again. But I'm still not into the aesthetic. But I can still appreciate it and look at it and say, that is kind of interesting, that is kind of cool. But not something for my collection. And this, there it is. There it is, the Lego Brickheads Transformers. Josiah Toys and the Hex Tumbler Elena, which turns into a mermaid, and then that. But of course, there's some pretty good pictures of sort of what they're going for from the cartoon, and I think they did a pretty good job with it. So it's pretty close to what the cartoon should look like, and all that good stuff. So we got New Age H35B Argus. It's the yellow version of Shockwave, and I've got to say that I planned on getting this, but I'm tightening up a bit. I don't need it. I really just wanted to check the mold out, compare it next to the Magic Square, and have all of that. So it's going with the yellow one, but I don't need it, and I'm going to stop doubling up on the Legend stuff. But it's fascinating to look at all the different ones they made, and this is a great picture to get the idea of how they look, and they look good. This appears to be another rendition of good old Galvatron from New Age, and this is the movie version. And with that, it looks good. Looks pretty good overall. Mine is a deeper purple, and I started looking at it, and it's so funny how just the color variation can make the figure look different. Mine's just the exact same figure, but a darker purple, and it just looks different. And it's interesting how they do that. I thought mine was EX, but EX would turn into being a toy colors. But anyhow, this one still looks pretty cool. I like the clear cannon on his arm. So we're getting more updates to this here. This one is the Ramen Toys BTL01 Roadmaster Optimus Prime standard version. And this is an update mostly to the Prime, because the Prime is in color and all of that. But you do get the armor on it, which... I'm not going to do a lot of live action movie stuff in Legends, but I am in on this because, of course, I love Jetfire, even though this isn't really, it's Jetfire, not my Jetfire, but I always thought it was a cool gimmick that they combined and how this worked. Take my pots. This was interesting, and probably the only time you'll get an opportunity to get this in Legends. We got more pictures of the Transformers Naruto, Shippuden. I don't know what all this stuff is. Anyway, it's the collaboration with Naruto. I kind of feel like I've seen and been around a lot of Naruto stuff without knowing anything about it. It's really weird. I've been exposed to it a lot and still know nothing about it. But there it is for the fans if you're into it. We got an in-hand picture of the newest HasLab Omega Prime, and it looks pretty good. It's a Twitter user Displaced Zebra. And fantastic picture. I got to tell you this. There's no way I could put together even 10% of this. I don't have any of this stuff. So there's no way I could put this together for a comparison in a picture. So this is a fantastic picture for people who really want this. And I think the HasLab is vastly better than the Vintage. I've owned the Vintage in the past. And seeing what the HasLab can accomplish versus what I struggled with posing the Vintage one, I'm impressed. And I think this is a good project. I think they've done a good job here. So there are hot pre-order alerts of reprints of Nova Prime and Nacelle. It is funny how lately everyone's been calling reissues reprints, or many people have. Kind of like reprints is something for comics, but now we're calling that with the toys. But it is interesting how they're giving things to the fans that seem to be more expensive on the secondary market. I don't even know if these were or not, but pretty cool stuff. I'm really not going to get into Walmart CollectorCon right yet so much, but these are two figures that they had, Sideways and Excellion. I did not try to go after either one. Didn't try to pre-order any of them. I was out of pocket. that day, and I got to realizing that I'll talk more about this when I get to CollectorCon. But this is a good way to get out some sort of deep cut characters that fans would really like, and that's the right way to do it. It's not like they took a general mass release character and just changed their mind at the last second. You know, you'd have to have a crystal ball to have seen that one coming. Okay, here comes something called Earth Smash Changers Jawbreaker in Twitch. And if this means anything to you, Earth Spark stuff, then you're probably excited about it. But I don't. Well, this isn't even the exact product. It's just some pictures that were put up. Anyhow, this is an easy to transform toys for kids, and they probably won't look this good. Alright, so we've got the Slingshot and, well, Olive Wave 1, basically, showing up at retail here. But I love the good old, is it Air Raid? I love the good old Superion combiners, and I'm interested in this set. I am working on, I've got mine pre-ordered, so I don't have to hunt it or anything, so I won't be hunting it. I'll just get it from BBTS, pre-ordered. BBTS never let me down on a pre-order, and they're honoring all their prices on the stuff that they've upped their prices on, which is fantastic, but they have upped the prices on a lot of stuff. And with that, all of you that missed out on the Snarl, and you didn't buy it at the full price because 55 was too much, and you were waiting for 30 or something, now you're stuck with 65. And if and when, because it's been a year now since they announced a reissue of Grimlock, that I just assume that's going to be the $65 price point. Either Hasbro's scalping, BBTS is scalping, because they've already invested in the most expensive part of producing this, the tooling. They just got to reprint it for $10 more. Why can't you reprint it for $5 less? And we got in some of these figures that are showing up here. This is Studio Series Wave 18 Dark, Leader of Dark of the Moon Shockwave, found at US retail. I've already got Swoop, and the most exciting thing in this picture is still looking at Swoop. I'm just saying. It's the most exciting thing for me in this picture is Swoop, and I already have more than one. I was the first person to chastise Hasbro for putting in the retro line their Titan Returns versions of their Headmasters. And I gotta say that I don't like the idea of this, but at the same time, I like the look of it, so it's kind of like I am a sucker for retro packaging, even if it's just slapping a brand new figure in there and it has no business being in there, but still, it's cool, it's fun. But at the size of this figure, I would have rather had a box. A box, an old school style box with a little flap on the back. But it is what it is, and I'm going to have a hard time resisting this if it ever shows up at my Walmarts. I guess there's going to be some Target Thursdays on Target.com for all March. Transformers Thursdays at Target. And that's that. I didn't know. I don't think there was one just yet. But for the next 3 Thursdays of March, some exclusive items up for pre-order. And they're DEF CON, if anyone missed it, you need to get there and jump on it. Get on it. This DEF CON is still available for pre-order right now. If you really want it, go get it. And I can't guarantee they won't cancel it, but 320 is going to have Studio Series Perceptor with Ratbat and Ramhorn, and 327 is going to have the Transformers Devastation 2-pack, if that helps you. Alright, I just want to touch on this. I found this. I didn't do any fact-checking, but I thought it'd be fun if it's real, that SpaceX will be sending starships to Mars by the end of 2026, and it will have a humanoid robot named Optimus. That's an Optimus name. And then humans could travel by 2031. I'm not going to be attempting any of that, but I just got to say, talking about Super Musk, Ramen Toy is making their Super Musk, and it is available on BBTS, but it's a $30 premium to order through BBTS, because BBTS doesn't get a better deal on it. They have to make a profit, so they're only making like $30 on each one. Anyhow, I just thought it would be another avenue in case you miss out on ordering it on good old Ramen Toy. You can get it through BBTS. Either way, But at BBTS, though, you won't have to pay additional shipping. I don't think. I think it's just a $4 flat rate. So just weighing your options there, BBTS might be a good option. There's a lot of collector con stuff from Walmart going on. I personally am not buying it all. I do think this Ace Duck is cool, but I'm kind of turtled out. And it's still fun. It's still fun. And it's fun to look at these pictures, look at these other things. The NECA's got Ben Cooper, the Ben Cooper Halloween costume things. And then there's another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Archie Comics. That's the Stump Wrestling Ace Duck. And then there's Chote, 7-inch scale figure, which I don't know anything about the Chote. But there is some stuff. There's more to this. Now, there are some turtles here that are part of the Walmart Collector Con, and I think that it's something a little bit different. So, for $45, you get a 4-pack bundle by Playmates, and it's the Military Turtles, which I knew nothing of. I'm assuming it's reissue stuff, like they've made them in the past, but $45.97 for 4 figures. You're not going to be that lucky with the rest of all this stuff. I mean, there's Star Wars R2-D2, Count Dooku, Gamerverse Spirit Spider, a bunch of WWE stuff I don't know anything about. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I know about him. And then there's Black Series Star Wars Tactical Ops Trooper, Kit Fisto, Count Dooku. We're holding off on talking about Star Wars, by the way. Marvel Legends Spider-Man 77, Gamerverse Spirit Spider. The Transformer stuff we talked about. Some Masters of the Universe Faker and She-Ra, which we've more or less covered. Some McFarlane stuff. We've covered some of the other things. Super 7 Iron Giant and Deluxe Wave. Most of the stuff's available, but not all of it. So I was irritated that I get home and I start looking at stuff and I'm like, okay, so CollectorCon was today. Let me go ahead and pre-order Crystal Ball. Wait, hold on a second. I'll just wait and get it at BBTS since they're sold out on Walmart. And then I'm reading figure only at Walmart. I'm like, huh. So now I can't have this. Which is fine. I mean, every time I miss out on it, it's just, I'm less and less interested in the line. It sucks the fun out of it, and I'm just in it for fun. So I don't really care about the Crystal Ball character, but so the fact they made it look cooler and better than the vintage one made me sort of want this. But at the end of the day, I'm not chasing through hoops, jumping through hoops to get it. I mean, it's not that important to me. It's just so low level on a priority. But screwing around with collectors like this, you lose collectors. Alright, Storm Collectibles. I thought this was going to be Storm Arena. I thought this was going to be the $30 figure, $27 figure. I thought wrong. I was wrong. Now, I do have a Jada Toys version that I'm fully satisfied. They have fully satisfied me, like 11-inch shoes. Or size 11 shoes? What? How's the joke go? Anyway, this guy looks great, though. It's a fantastic looking figure. Side by side, I might even like this more. But for $96 versus $30 for the one that you get from Jada, we're in that area now where Storm Collectibles is directly competing with Jada at 4 times the price, between 3 and 4 times the price. And it's going to be a hard sell. But I do want to say that I don't think that there's going to be as close of an offering when it comes to the Blanca. But I was disappointed in the $96 price put on this thing. So I don't usually talk about Mavo Legends, but this is X-Force X23 and Warpath 2-pack pre-orders. I don't know anything about this. I'm not even reading to find out who they are or what's about them, but they just looked cool. It just caught my attention, and I was like, usually I don't kind of get attracted to anything in the Marvel Legends unless they're doing some really retro stuff, and usually it's the villains. These probably are villains too, but I thought they looked cool. They caught my eye if you're interested in Marvel Legends. So if you've been with me for a while watching my videos, you know that I have sung praises for McFarlane, for availability, for price, for a lot of things. I know that these days the tactics have changed, but this is kind of going back to the roots of McFarlane in a way, because some of these offerings are needed, in my opinion. Some are just kind of redundant, but they're showing, let's go through this. Final Suit Movie Riddler, Grim Knight Killer Croc 2-pack, Silver Age Dr. Fate, which is what I want. Out of all this, is the only thing I'm going to buy, but I have been a very good collector good boy, and you didn't buy any other ones. I did buy other ones, but I didn't spend 60 on the Mattel version, and that's what I want. Year 1 Batman Walmart exclusive. Year 1 Gordon Walmart exclusive. Don't care about any of that. Collector edition Hot Girl. That is interesting, by the way. It's interesting. And then Snyderverse Alfred, Cowboy Batman, and yeah, this is some cool looking stuff. It's pretty interesting, but I'm all about Dr. Fate. We have something called the Masters of the Universe Origins Battle of Eternia multi-pack, which is a band of misfits, to say the least. But they have Paragon, champion figure with a hammer, sword, removal cape, and armor. And then they have Skell Knight figure, sword removal harness, Horde Revenant figure, Horde staff removal harness, Pit Warden figure, sword and shield. I'm not in on this. I don't really care. But it is very interesting that they're doing this stuff. So it's kind of like, well, we're doing crossovers with franchises. Let's just make up some crossovers. That's how it feels to me. $70 for 4 figures.
Cobra Commander have liberated the airwaves of their standard trick to provide the people with musical stylings more fitting with what our new order brings. Success of Cold Slither.
All right, so I can put G.I. Joe Classified in the title, and you're not catfished, and it's not clickbait. This is Mark Hamill, and he's actually recorded an advertisement using the voice of Cobra Commander. And I actually think he did a phenomenal job with that. He did a really good job as Joker, too. You're never going to really, truly recreate the original voice actors, but that was still good enough overall. And there it is. Cold Slither is still coming for SDCC. I still remember when Star Wars was good. My biggest fear was September. And would my HasLab fund caught somewhere between a collector and a fan? The only Anakin I care about is the old man. When Star Wars was good, 2017 wasn't too long ago, but now we've lost everything. I just want to say that Sebastian Shaw will never be forgotten, so gotta say, when we run out of news, men just talk about our feelings and how Star Wars makes us feel. What? I'm the only one that does that? Okay. Anyway, this is the Black Series Jedi Temple Guard leak of parts, and it's all right. It's nothing I'm not excited about or anything, but it's news, and you gotta scrape real hard to find something to talk about for Star Wars. The Mara Jade Legacy lightsaber revealed, and I'd be more excited about it if it wasn't $325 at DisneyStore.com. So, not at all excited about it, I guess. $325. I remember when I used to see these $140 at Hastings. Then they'd put them on a sale for $99.99 every once in a while, and you'd be able to get them for $100. Every one of them that came out was available for $100 for the most part, if you just timed it right. But now, they're unattainable to the average collector. So just like the Vintage Collection E-Wing, I never bought it. I thought $100 was too much. It's on sale for what I still feel is too much. I kind of feel like $40 I'd bite. $86.36 at Amazon. Discounted 14%. If you're into it, I mean, it is news. You have to admit, it really is news. Oddly enough, I do not like the original figures in this package, but I want that R2-D2. It's still available. It did not sell out. It's not a big seller. It's not something that you got to worry about from the Walmart thing, but I'll eventually get one. What tells me is that it'll eventually show up in the store, and I can just get it in person and not deal with Walmart. I will take this time to tell you what Walmart did to me with the Retro Collection G.I. Joes. Not only did the first round show up smashed, they sent them literally in baggies. Smashed all to pieces. I don't care about this packaging, so it wouldn't bother me. But then, when I pre-ordered the next ones, which was Zartan and Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, the Snake Eyes and the Storm Shadow are the rarest ones in that, and I had trouble getting them. I had to fight to get them. They never sent me my Zartans, but they charged me for them. So I had to get that refunded. But then they were already in stock, so I just straight up ordered them. It was a mess. I mean, everything about pre-ordering from Walmart is a nightmare. And they screwed me over. So I think I'm just going to avoid it entirely in this case. And then if I see it on the shelf, I get it. If I don't, I don't. Let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review, and what other stuff is going on out there that I missed. What did I not talk about? What did I leave out and omit? Because I like to stay in the know, so keep me up on what's up. Titanium Hanger out.